Good evening, y'all. Well, that was exciting. Technology is always an interesting time. Welcome to Tampa Talk Tuesday. I'm very excited to have y'all here. Excited to check in. The ladies will be joining me here shortly. We had a complete collapse of the live stream, and to have to have a redo here. So we are up and running. And for those of you just joining us for the very first time, we're excited to have you. My name is Juan Alcala. I'm a licensed real estate agent and a team leader here with the True Living Group, and we help people just like you buy, sell, relocate, and invest here in the Tampa Bay area. And we've got a great episode for y'all today. We're talking about fun things to do here in Tampa, the best things to do here in Tampa. So looking forward to that. And my lovely co-host is sliding in here. Marsha's going to be on her way too. Like literally, we started the stream and it just died.
I know. Marsha and I were sitting there like, what in the world? Where'd Juan go?
Where did who go? It happens. Apparently, it's not happened before, but there's the first time for everything. So, here we are getting it done, so to speak, right? So excited for it. And as always, we want to know where you're watching from. Thank you for the time and consideration and hanging with us. But we would love to make this interactive. We love answering questions. You guys have some great questions that we love to answer. And those questions also help us, really do more research for you guys in terms of what's happening locally, what you want to know about what's going on in the Tampa Bay, Sarasota areas. And of course, continue to bring that value. So let us know where you're watching from. Let us know what's on your mind, what you want us to dig into. We're more than happy to share that with you. So good evening, ladies. So that was a fun, entertaining time. I'm joined by my two lovely co-hosts here. We've got Miss Stacy Amon up in Dade City, which is up in Pasco County. Good evening, Stacy.
Good evening, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks for taking the time. Stacy's got some cool stuff. We may even be talking about mermaids today, y'all. Just a heads up on that. We may be talking about mermaids. Then we got the lovely and talented Miss Marsha Railton down in Bradenton, Florida. Good evening, Marsha.
Good evening, everyone. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Marsha's got some cool things on deck as well. I believe we are going to be talking about Bradenton specifically, which is awesome. And then I'm going to talk about some cool stuff happening here in the Tampa St. Pete area because we've got some things popping off. It's fun to see. I was out with clients all day. Our clients are in town from the Midwest, and we drove around literally like 80 miles today. Drove the entire Gulf Coast in Pinellas County from Tarpon Springs all the way down to St. Pete. Had one of those incredible hamburgers that Marsha, like when she sees it, she's like, I don't know how you can eat all that. And these wings, you got to go to Engine 9. I know I'm bringing it up early here, but like you got to go to Engine 9. If you're ever in St. Pete, downtown St. Pete has a burger bar opened by somebody from Chicago, and I can't remember the chef's name, but I'm going to tell you right now that these burgers they'll make you slap your mama. They're so good. I mean, they are that good. And the wings, y'all, they have these honey sriracha wings, and they're so crispy. It is so good. So that's my inner fat kid coming out. Forgive me. It happens to the best of us. So. But delicious.
I'm glad you mentioned they have wings there. I knew they had hamburgers, but my husband a lot of times says he wants wings. So now I'll have another reason to take them.
There you go. It's absolutely incredible. So excited to share that opportunity. We went from there, drove all the way through St. Pete, Seminole, Largo. They're looking for potential properties to purchase and build their dream home on. So it's pretty exciting to be able to help them. And I know you ladies have been extremely busy. It's been nuts around here. I think we're up to 20 families served currently in the month of June, which is astronomical. And that is all because of y'all. You trust us enough to reach out, make connections, and we are grateful for the opportunity to serve. What do you say, ladies?
Thank you. It's a joy.
Yep, it's a pleasure. I love meeting all the families and learning from where they're coming from, and it's been fun.
It has been. It's been an absolute blast. I can't believe it'll be 2 years for this channel since our first video on August 21st, I believe. So we are coming up on that 2-year anniversary, and man, it has been an absolute whirlwind. So we're grateful for all of you. We got Lisa watching from Port Hope, Ontario. We checked in last week. Thanks for checking in again, Lisa. That's awesome. Kevin, my man out in Lakeland. Kevin's always on here. Appreciate it. Yep. And Cypher is moved here in August of 22nd. Or I'm sorry, August of 22. Thank you for that. That's great. Elijah says, "Man, I'm a total foodie. I don't eat to live. I live to eat authentic Chinese and Jamaican." Well, let me just tell you this. If someone could help me find good Chinese food in Pinellas County, I would be extremely grateful, because what I have found so far has been left me wanting, would be the term that I would use. I just have not found great Chinese food yet. And I'm sure it exists. I just haven't found it. So great question. There's great food here. Yep. I'm showing it. Okay. That's great. I love that. So, and we can get into food. Like, we can have a whole restaurant episode. I am here for it, y'all. I'll share dishes, drinks, whatever you need to know. We will lay it down, because, Juan loves to eat his way through the cities, and so does Kate, my better half, for those of you who don't know. So we're excited for it. Okay, cool. So let's get into some things that are popping off here tonight. And I saw the topics. I'm excited for some of them for sure. Let's start with the most unique thing on the table, I think. All right. So, like, let's start with Stacy. Talk to me about this magical fairyland.
Magical mermaid. Yes, so there is Weeki Wachee State Park, which is in Spring Hill. So it's about 55 miles north of Tampa. And it is the deepest known freshwater caves in the U.S. And as you can see, there are beautiful mermaids that swim in the spring water. But it's actually one of Florida's oldest roadside attractions. It opened in 1947, and they built this auditorium, 400-seat auditorium, 6 feet submerged into the spring water. So you can actually sit and look into the spring water. So I think it was in the 50s they started this mermaid show, and it's still going today. And that's what Weeki Wachee is really known for, is the mermaid show.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? So, like, and it's not just the mermaid show. That's part of it, the mermaid show. But what else happens up there, right? Like, there's some cool things that happen up here. I mean,
yeah, they have riverboat cruises. You can go on kayaking tours. There's canoeing, paddle boarding. And along the way, there's they have places where you can stop, and they have like ropes you can swing from the trees and jump into the spring water. It's lots of fun. You can see, sometimes you'll see manatee, otters, which I can't imagine being out there in the spring and seeing a manatee floating by me.
So in the winter, yeah. And for those of you watching right now, in the winter, the manatees actually pack in there because it's warmer waters. So they'll like huddle up inside of the springs. It's pretty cool. I have heard this. We have not taken the kids yet, but this is on our map. We are doing this year. We're excited for this. Like, we haven't told them yet, but I think they're going to be jazzed. I mean,
have you ever jumped into spring water before?
I have not. This would be first for me.
It's freezing. It's freezing.
Okay.
I mean, it's 74 degrees. We went in July, like that first year we moved here, and it was cold. And it was July, it's like 100 degrees outside. Mm-hmm. It like takes your breath away. It's so cold.
So
it's refreshing, but cold.
Yeah, but warmer in the winter because the spring feeds it, right? So like, plan your paddling. So they got a paddling trip, you got a kayaking trip, you got boating. So you can reserve special events. Let me see on here.
They have weddings there.
What is it?
They have a wedding venue.
Dining? Oh, you can eat there?
Yeah, they have a riverboat cruise. I'm sure that's probably like a dinner cruise.
Like a snack shack. We all know that food's not going to be good. Come on now. But I
have to ask, is the wedding event are there mermaids at the wedding event?
No, that's just at the park.
Yeah.
So they have like a mermaid show, and then they have a little beach area in the spring so the kids can swim. And they have water slides there. They even have a place where the kids can jump off into the spring. And then they have like a snack shack and place where you can, restrooms and showers and that kind of thing. It's really nice. And they actually, you have to be there early because once they get to capacity, they shut it down.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to pull it up on the map, y'all, so everybody can see it. So just to give context on where this actually is, because it's not necessarily close, but I definitely want to.
And I have to tell you, the first time we went there too, which we're just from the, north. And so wildlife is always like, when you see turtles or alligators, you're always like, stop the car. Well, we were sitting there eating at the Weeki Wachee Springs. The kids were swimming, and this huge peacock is just walking around the chairs. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a peacock. I'd never seen one like at the zoo, of course, but
they're
just, strolling around the chairs.
It is interesting because they're not small either, right, Stacey? Like I was telling the clients today, because we drove past Weaver Park in Dunedin. And the first time we came to Dunedin, we were in Weaver Park, and there's kids running around everywhere. And there's this not small peacock on the playscape, like with the kids, like hanging out. And for me, same thing. We were like, what in the world? Like that thing will snatch a child.
I was gonna say, can't they be like really aggressive? Peacocks.
Well, this one wasn't. It was really cool. It was hanging out. All the kids were running around. Like, in my mind, I was like, that is going to snatch a child. But of course, it does not. Right? But like, me being ignorant norther, I had no idea. But like, because they're big.
They are big, especially when they get their all feathers going. I was like, I just froze. Like
they get really big. There's no doubt about that. I love that. So we're talking about mermaid shows already, getting it out the ground. I love this. I mean, what a cool place to go hang out. So for those of you who have never heard of it, natural springs, beautiful water, mermaid shows, potentially a manatee, kayaking, paddleboarding, all the things. Really, really exciting stuff. I love that, Stacey. What else is going on up in Pasco?
Well, if you guys love amusement parks, or your kids do, I know the 2 out of the 3 kids I have are amusement park junkies. And not everyone can take a whole weekend and go to Disney or Universal. But Busch Gardens is in Tampa, and it's just 20 miles from Wesley Chapel. So it's about 25-30 minute drive. But they always have great sales. It's not always for Florida residents, but right now they have a 4th of July sale where you can get 55% off tickets. So they have day passes and fun cards. There's also, Busch Garden has a water park called Adventure Island.
Yep. We talked about that last week. Very cool.
Yeah. So you can do both.
Yeah.
But it's just really cool. They have summer nights where they extended the hours. So they stay open till 9. It's nice. Like the kids, you can go like one afternoon and just stay for 4 hours and leave. You don't have to stay the whole time. Or you can drop the kids off if they're old enough. Go do your thing, come back and pick them up. It's nice.
You can self-medicate if you're a parent. Did you see that?
Yeah, they have all kinds of festivals. It's really cool. They really have very cool summer camps. My son went to one because he, like I said, loves amusement parks.
Yep.
But they have different ones. So they have ones for little kids, and then they have ones for the older kids, and you can kind of pick. But the one he really liked was the roller coaster, where they can go behind the scenes and learn about the roller coasters and all that fun stuff. They even take him to their special barn and see all the extra parts to the roller coaster. Look, he was really into that. Like if your kid likes technology and engineering, and he was loving it. That was his favorite camp.
I love that. And the prices here are really like the kid-friendly tour, $20 for a tour. Anything below $20 now, I'm always shocked for anything, right? Everything's so expensive now. So to see those prices come in at $20, that's very cool. Just reading the things to do here really quick, compounding on this, we got rides and attractions, shows. There's VIP tours, safari and tours. You got animals, of course. You can see the kid there feeding the flamingos, which is really cool. Kid-friendly activities, which is we were just showing you, some restaurants, shops, the camps, which was Stacey was just talking about. And then they got some new attractions here as well. Looks like they got the Serengeti Flyer and the Springs tap room. So, oh wow, yep, all set on that. For those my adventure people, this probably has got your name on it. To me, that looks like you're riding a rake. I'm all set.
Yeah, that looks horrible.
I'm all set on that. And I like roller coasters. I actually, growing up in the Midwest, everybody went to Cedar Point or Six Flags, or you did both. And Cedar Point had some great roller coasters. But I've just learned when you start getting older, things like hurt from sitting and getting tossed around as much. So like now I'm whining out loud, but you can complain with me if you're in your mid 40s as well. So just shout out to my old people. But this is cool. I think this is a great fun. And this is in Tampa. This is in Pasco. This is in Hillsborough County. For those of you who are digging in deeper, let me just show you a quick shot of, it's very close to downtown Tampa. I mean, with traffic, maybe 20 minutes, maybe. It just depends on how bad traffic is. If it's clear, you can be there in 10 minutes from downtown Tampa. And from Wesley Chapel, it's probably 25 to 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're at. So just a little bit of perspective in terms of time and how long things take to get. So Stacy, it's awesome. Love it. Love it. All right. What else? You got anything else?
That's it. That's all I got for you today.
That's okay. That's plenty. So we talked about Busch Gardens, y'all. For those of you who just need a recap, we talked about Busch Gardens, everything that's happening over there. Great fun. And then we also talked about Weeki Wachee, because who doesn't want a mermaid show in their life? I mean, come on. Who's going to complain about a mermaid show? I don't know too many people will. So that's great. All right, Marcia, moving south here. Talk to me. What's going on with your peeps to the south?
Tonight I want to talk about Bradenton, where I live. I love Bradenton, and we moved here 9 years ago. It's a really great area for people that are close to retirement or possibly retiring. We're not retired yet, but a lot of our friends are. So we get to hang out with them, and it's a laid back community, laid back environment. We're sandwiched between St. Pete and Sarasota, two cities that we absolutely love. And they're both about a half hour. We live about a half hour from downtown St. Pete or Sarasota. So what a great place to be. It's very active. The weather is phenomenal. There's so much to do here that I just thought it'd be good to share it. I think I brought up my neighborhood before in different areas, but there's always more to learn about the area. And specifically Bradenton. So Bradenton sits right between Sarasota and St. Pete. Like I said, it's on the Gulf Coast, and we happen to live off of the Manatee River, which feeds into the Gulf, which is great. So if you're a boater or you love fishing or golfing, any of those type of activities, it's a great place to be. Also kayaking, boating, I think I mentioned that. Any kind of water activities, it's a perfect location. So, and that's one thing I'm going to talk to you about tonight too, is fishing and what it's like to fish here. There's different options for that as well. The housing market's going great in Bradenton. The median home price right now is $455,000. That was in May of this year, and that's gone up from last year about 9%. It's taking longer for homes to sell here, but more homes sold this May than last May. So things are still moving along for single family homes. You're showing the downtown area, which we love. There's lots to do downtown, including the River Walk. It's 1.5 miles long. It goes right along the Manatee River. There's volleyball nets there, and you'll see volleyball leagues going on. There's a skate park. Juan and I got to experience that one time when we were filming, watching skaters and that. I don't know what it's called, but Juan, you got to have a conversation with some of the people.
That guy. Oh, I should have pulled.
It looks like a pool, but what is it called?
Yeah, I should have pulled the footage actually. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, there was this guy in there. He was in there just shredding. And I mean, like it was a bowl. So it looks like a pool, but it's empty. And he was just tearing it up. So they've got a really nice skate park right on the Manatee River, which I think is very unique. It's very cool. And this is the River Walk. If you keep walking down past here, you'll bump into it. So it was fun. I had a blast out there touring it with Marcia. It is a really cool town. Downtown, the marina, right there. I mean, you got Oak and Stone, the restaurant that Marcia loves taking everybody to, and for good reason, because I mean, it's looking down at this beautiful marina. You know, you got a rooftop. It's some cool stuff.
Yeah. And they keep adding to it and changing it. I know that they're expanding the river walk, and I think it's really cool because they've gotten the community involved in what they want to see in the river walks. They have meetings and take all that into account as they're adding on to it. And I know, like, for upcoming extension of it, they were talking about people that like photography and art. So I think they're going to put some areas for people to be able to take advantage of that, or maybe having some classes down there. That would be really cool. The other thing that Bradenton has a lot of is parks. Not only the Riverwalk considered a park, but we have Robinson Preserve. It's a huge 600-acre park out towards Anna Maria Island. And it has, it has a kayak and canoe launch. It has this really huge observation tower. I don't know how many feet high it is, but it's way up there. And people go bird watching there. It's just, there's a lot to do. You can bicycle, there's hiking, lots and lots to do. And it's really beautiful. We like to go for walks out there in the winter more than the summer because it's so hot. But on a winter day when it's cool, it's a great place just to go out and get some exercise.
Yeah, that observation tower is really cool. There's one down in Seminole as well on Boca Chica Bay, and it makes it really cool to kind of check out, look over the bay. It's a really nice spot. I love it. You can see the Skyway Bridge behind it. That's what is up in the top right corner of this photo up here. It's not a small bridge, y'all. It's not a small bridge. So like, that's fun. And that's St. Pete on the other side. So that's where he takes you over there, and now you're in St. Pete. So beautiful. Yeah. It's a great area. Yeah.
And so many views like that from this area. That's what I love about it. There's just water everywhere. And, you know, that's something, moving from Atlanta, that was something we were looking for. So having water surrounding you and having so many opportunities to take advantage of it. And you're not always doing the same area. You know, there's just so many places you can go. It's fabulous. We love it.
Yep.
Another great thing about Bradenton is the social life. There's so much going on all the time. They have the farmers market, they have festivals. Stephen and I really like live music, and there's a website that we go to called gotonight.com. And it gives you, it's not just Bradenton and Sarasota, but Tampa and St. Pete. It tells you bands that are playing. You can look it up by the artist or the venue. You can look it up by the day. There's a lot of different options of how you can look things up. You put in your zip code. And a lot of times if we're feeling like going out somewhere and we want to know what kind of music's playing, there might be some favorite places we like to go or a favorite artist we like to hear. It's a great option to check it out and see what's going on in town.
Oh, there it is. Change location. I see. There it is. So it pops out. So. Ooh, the American Legion is popping off tonight, y'all. So for those of you, the one in Clearwater is getting down over there. So make sure you check that out. The Bamboo Beach Bar and Grill down at Mab. This is cool. Right? You got a band on. I like that, Marcia. Marcia's always coming with the coolest websites. Last week it was the Golf Finder. This week you got like how to go find live music. This is really cool. Thank you.
I'm pretty proud of that, being the oldest person in the room, that I come up with technical stuff. My family's going to be so proud of me.
Drum roll, please. This is great. This is a cool website. So you can use this nationally. Let's find out.
I think it's just Central Florida.
Is it? Okay. All right. I was going to try to go somewhere else. But this is
I
cool.
use it. I didn't know, honestly, before today that it expanded into St. Pete and Tampa. We just always used it for Bradenton and Sarasota, but now I know I can look up stuff in further north.
It's a great find. I don't want coupons. It's like get spammed all of a sudden.
Can you look? What is your zip code, Stacy? See if they have it in Wesley Chapel or your area.
33543. Or yeah. We have 3.
Look at this.
Nice.
Not a whole. I mean, it's sparse, but it definitely still works. They got it all the way up to Port Richey, so I mean that's going out there pretty far. So Port Richey and Tampa doesn't look like at a whole whole
Maybe
lot.
it's expanding.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they'll get better about that area. We've been using it for a few years, so I know it's pretty, you know, very informative for our area.
Very cool. What else? Talk to me.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about fishing. I know that's something, if you move to Florida or you come visit Florida, a lot of people like to go fishing, and there's a lot of options for doing that. I found a Facebook page called where did I put it? Tampa Bay Fishing Club. There's over 70,000 members on this fishing club. And today alone, they had 47 posts. It's private, so I didn't sign up for it.
Yeah, 71,000 members. Yet apparently people are excited about it. Yeah, 50 posts so far today. So this is an active group.
I thought it was really cool. It said that they offer, everybody posts like places to fish or gives ideas on bait that they're using, all kinds of information. So I thought that was a really cool place for people to look things up. But then I started thinking or looking into charters as well. Now charters, you can get a private charter where it's just a few people on a boat, or you can do, I call it a party charter, but it's like 35 people on a boat.
Yeah.
So the private charters can be quite expensive, but it's such a cool adventure for a family. So for a party of 4, I found that it averaged about $600 to $700 for a 4-hour charter. And if you could bring more than 4 people, but then they charge you more, like $50 more a person. I think it was up to 6 on the smaller boats. You can do, I found charters all the way from the lowest price was $400 up to $10,000. And the $10,000 one was that you go 150 miles out and you're out for 24 hours.
Wow.
So
yeah, there's some oh god, I'm super ignorant too because I'm not a fishing guy. My dad used to torment me with fishing, y'all, just for those of you in the audience. My dad was take you out and keep you out all day guy. And it really hurt my feelings.
Yeah, my dad ruined me that way too. We go out into Lake Michigan, which is like going out into the ocean. Yep. And even if I got sick, which was pretty much every time, he'd just say, just go down and lay down in the cabin. So I'd go down there and get 4 times as sick and have to just stay there until he was ready to go back. It was horrible. So my family loves going on these fishing excursions, but I don't. I stay home.
So this website, is this how you found those prices, Marcia? So this is called fishingbooker.com for anybody interested here.
Yeah.
This is really cool, actually. Another great website to go track down and try to check it out. So for adults, leaving out of Apollo Beach, trips from $445. So that's one. You see another one here. Sundays inshore charters coming out of Tampa. This one's $675. This is for 4 people, is what I put in here.
Yeah, and those are for what they call inshore. So those were a lot less expensive than the ones where you go for the Gulf offshore.
Okay. Those
are, those started at like 1,800 that I found.
Oh yeah, here it is, offshore. So if we do offshore,
and they go like 15, they started at like 15 to 20 miles offshore.
Let's just do two adults and see what that comes in at.
That's probably going to be cheaper.
So let me just make sure I got it dialed in. Offshore. Yep. 445, 300, 500.
Oh, well, those were less than the ones I found.
590. Oh, I'm sure they're going to get more expensive, but like 750.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
something that I thought was really interesting is that on the private charters, you don't have to. Well, you do have to have a fishing license, but that's part of what you pay for. So they take care of that for you. They give you your tackle, your rods, the reels. They clean your fish for you if you want them to, and they usually have water. But they tell everybody to bring sunscreen, water, food. Most of them did allow beer or wine, but no hard alcohol.
Okay.
And I thought that was pretty cool. And then on the larger fishing charters that have like 30 people or more, they have a federal fishing license, so you don't have to get a fishing license.
Okay. All right.
So I thought it was interesting because if I I think most people feel like if they're going to go fishing, they have to get a license. So just know that they get it for you, or on the bigger boats, you don't need a fishing license.
Okay. Trying to just pull some other pricing in here. So this one's keep it offshore.
And then they talked about too, the types of fish that they fish for. And that's probably in the description, like when you're looking it up. So offshore obviously is a different type of fish than what you're going to get closer in.
Sure. No, that makes sense. This is a cool site though. Yeah. Like one of the questions, that we do get is about charters from time to time. And I think it's pretty cool to know that you can go slip off and do something like this. It may or may not be for everyone in terms of like approach, but I love the idea of sport fishing. Look at that. It's gorgeous. I was just talking to my dad. He's getting ready to retire from the University of Michigan here. And, one of the things I want to do with him is, even though I don't want to do it, I want to take him out sport fishing on the Gulf of Mexico. He's never done that, so like, it'll be something really cool to give him as a retirement present. So I'm looking forward to that. So thanks, Marcia. This is great. This is super helpful because I'm going to have to go track this down, and this is awesome.
Well, here's just one more tip for you. It said to take the Dramamine the night before, which no one ever told me that. I always took it when I went.
Yeah.
And if I did take it, I slept the whole time. I could not stay awake. So I was a nightmare. I'm not a good fisher woman.
Do you get seasick?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Not boating, and we went on a cruise. I've never been seasick that way, but like I said, being out on Lake Michigan, I'm pretty sure it's like being out in the ocean, and rough, you're just sitting there, and it's like a lot different than the type of boating we do.
So this is one of those big charters, like 30-person charters that you're referring to, right, Marcia?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so just get some perspective. But that's cool. I mean, they're going to stick you in the places where they know that they can put a fish on the line, and that'll make people happy at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. And they tell you like what types of fish they're going to be fishing for. Mm-hmm. So,
I think some of them you get the option of keeping what you catch, and so then you can like cook dinner. Sometimes they even prepare it for you if you go to a certain restaurant.
Now we're getting fancy, y'all.
Yeah.
Nothing like fresh fish. It is one of the major, I love the fact that, we do have good seafood. Is it the same as you're going to find in the Northeast? No. Is it the same that you're going to find out West? No. Our water's different. We've got some, groupers, one of our best fish. Hogfish down here is also great. Both of those fish are really nice to eat. You cannot go wrong with those. We were just talking about this today. We have stone crab down here, which is really good. That's usually in the winter. We were talking about this. One of the cool things about stone crab is they don't harvest the crabs. They only harvest their claws, and then they put the crabs back in the water so they can regrow them and harvest them again next year, which is really cool. Right.
I just have a picture of them pouring all these poor crabs in the water.
Well, our client today, they're like, well, how did they survive? I was like, that's a really good question, right? You took their defense mechanisms away, right? But they've been doing this forever, which I think is really cool. So, and it's good. It's sweet. It's a cool treat. So in Indian Rocks Beach, they do a festival every year. And, you get to go down and have everybody's, local fare. And then they usually have stone crab down there, and it's great. Good time, especially.
That sounds fun. Do you remember what time of year that is?
It's in the winter. And
winter. Okay.
IRB Fest is, I'm going to misquote it. I think somewhere in like November-ish. Okay. I'll have to look it up. Hold tight, please. Because now I'm bothered by this.
I love crab. I think it's so good. It's one of my favorite seafoods.
November 4th is when it was last year, 24th. Nope, it's this year. It's scheduled for November 4th. And 5th, November 4th and 5th. And also, and we weren't getting into that topic today, but they do the boat parade. We talked about the Christmas boat parades. That's one of the coolest things I also think about being down in one of the intercoastal communities or on the water. Like the boats, everybody has a great time in the winter, and they wrap them up in lights for Christmas, and it's cool. Because especially if you're coming from the north, because the season doesn't change anymore. It goes from green to green, and then it goes from green to green again, and then next spring it's green. So there's definitely a lot of that going on. It's very weird. Like the leaves do fall off the oak trees, but it's green underneath the brown leaves that fall off. So like all you ever see is green, and it's a little bit different color. It's very unique. Something that I think is an interesting thing that happens seasonally. But Marcia, that stuff is awesome. Anything else for us?
One thing I forgot to tell you is on the charter with the larger group of people, it's pretty inexpensive to go. An adult can go for 4 hours for $99 and 6 hours for $109.
Wow.
So it's a whole day.
And that boat's a little bit bigger, so it's probably not, if you get seasick or you're a little sensitive to that, it's probably a little bit better ride than some of the smaller charter boats.
Yeah.
Just for perspective, and I think that's really going to depend on the day, because as you ladies know, the Gulf can be dead flat at times. It doesn't get crazy out there unless we got some pretty gnarly storms out in the Gulf of Mexico. It's hard. Like you really only ever get to surf here if something pretty gnarly is coming your way, because we just don't get waves like that. And then it's chop. It's not really waves. Like waves have a tempo to them and a timing to them. The chop does not. It gets all crazy, but you'll see guys out there surfing when storms are coming through. They're excited to get out there and get busy. And I think one of the nice things about the Gulf also is we don't have there's not a giant coral reef under there to bounce you off the ground. It's pretty soft and sandy underneath there. So if you are going to do those types of water sports, it is a really cool place to come do that. So speaking from an ex water boarding fanatic, so definitely used to get behind the boat and have a great time. So yeah. And we got some cool stuff happening here in Tampa St. Pete as well. So I wanted to get into some of that stuff. One of the things that I really think is cool, let me get into the share screen here, is in St. Pete, y'all, they are opening up. Top Golf is about to get underway here. Yeah. And for those golfing fanatics out there, this place is very unique. If you've never heard of Top Golf before, it is the golf range on steroids is the best way that I can describe this. It's the adult version, and not that it wasn't before, but they've got food and drinks and bring them right to your I don't know if they call them booths. I don't know what they call these things, but in here there's multiple decks of driving ranges, and then they've got all kinds of gamification with it, and it's just an all-day event. So between Top Golf and a Pop Stroke, which is the Tiger Woods invested adult putt these concepts are very similar. So one of them is based around driving, the other one's based around putting, but they both kind of do the same thing, which I think is very cool. So it's coming. It's scheduled to open soon. I didn't see an actual date on it yet, but I drive by it almost every day when I'm out and about. And I'm excited for it. Location wise, just to share with where you guys, it's right by the Howard Franklin Bridge as you cross over Tampa Bay. So just giving you a little bit of perspective. If you're in Pinellas County, like you're in St. Petersburg on the south side, it's at the north end over by the Tampa St. Pete Airport. It's not right next to it, but in that area. And right over the Howard Franklin Bridge. You can definitely see as you're coming over the bridge and you start to make the curve here onto Almerton Road. You can see Top Golf, which is pretty cool. I'm excited for this to open. I got a buddy who had a membership. He absolutely loved it. I can't wait to take the kids. I gave up golfing when my children came because sacrificing 5 hours of my life, I'm pretty sure that my wife was going to threaten me many times. The golf clubs have been in the garage since the day we moved down here. I have never brought them out. But I can do it with the family here. So I'm excited for it. We can go get some food. The kids can have fun. We can all sweat together, kind of thing, and just hang out. So I'm pretty excited for that. That's one thing that's popping off. The other thing, and I just saw this today, actually saw it with my own eyes. I'm pretty excited about it. The Coachman Park project that is in downtown Clearwater right on the Intercoastal Waterway is really close to opening. And I'm going to show y'all what's happening over here. But this is, as you can see, an $84 million project that that goes right to the Intercoastal Waterway. This park is incredible, and I'm going to show you photos here in a second. But it's got a splash pad area, sunshades, bamboo shoots, LED lights, bathrooms, private island, a playground. There's pirate ships. It's got a natural sand beach, which is cool on the Intercoastal. Climbing nets for the kids. All kinds of stuff going on here. And the concert venue seats about 9,000 people. It's got seating for 4,000 specifically. Let me find that. Seating was for 4,000 seats specifically, and then they have enough room for like 5,000 lawn chairs is what they said in this. But let me show you some photos of what's going on here. This right here, as you can see on the bridge here, this is the Clearwater Causeway, so that'll take you over from downtown Clearwater to Clearwater Beach, for those of you that don't know. And you can kind of see the amphitheater popping up on the right corner here. All right, that's what's happening there. And then it's beautiful, the space. As I was coming over the causeway today, I was taking a look at it, and the place is gorgeous. I mean, to go see a concert right on the water, that's very cool. There are not places in the country that allow you to do that with that many people, at least. You know, you can find some smaller venues that can seat a few hundred, but to be able to seat, 9,000 approximately for a concert is very cool. And I think Dierks Bentley, don't quote me on this, one of the big country artists is kicking off, and they're doing the opening show there. So pretty cool stuff. But you've got offices, play parks. There's obviously, this is right by downtown, so you've got restaurants and bars within walking distance. Some pretty cool stuff happening there. So I'm a big fan of that. I like that. I can't wait to take the wife down there. And you got Ruth Eckerd Hall in Clearwater that brings a lot of good shows. And I'm assuming this is going to grab some of that market share, and you're going to be able to enjoy music outdoors as well. I love a good outdoor amphitheater. The challenge we have here in Florida is the summer concerts. No bueno. You just stand out there and sweat, right? But the winter concerts, where else can you go see concerts from November, right, to May in really comfortable weather outdoors? It's very rare, right? So like we got Mid-Atlantic on the east side of Tampa, and now we've got another good size amphitheater here in Clearwater Beach as well. So really cool spot there. Excited for that. Let me show y'all on the map. Where did my map go? I'll show you exactly where it is on the map. And you can see, for reference, how close it is. It's literally on the water. This is a great project. There were some hotel plans. I think those got canceled. I don't know why. I'm not into the politics side of what's happening here, but what a cool spot. So you're literally looking at Clearwater Beach as you cross the causeway there. And then as you head south, this is where Sand Key Park, great park to come hang out. And then downtown Clearwater is right here. So that's where all the magic's happening, right by the park, walkable, really cool spot. Definitely something to go hang out. Excited to share that with you. Okay, now let's talk a little real estate, y'all. Let's get into the nitty gritty about what is popping in the world of real estate, because I think it's pretty important. Now, I'm not going to get crazy going nuts on the nerdy numbers like I want to. I want to hold back a little bit because we went pretty deep last week, which was well received. I got messages from y'all watching, and people were very kind, and they were grateful that we were sharing some of that information. But I just want to give you some relative perspective on what it costs to live here, home wise, right? The cost of living is different. We covered that in detail. I've got a full video here on the channel for those of you who've never seen it before. What does it really cost to live in Florida? Where I back it up with numbers, right? I go to articles and pull data, and we got into car payments. I was mortified when I found out that the new average car payment, if you bought after from the fourth quarter of 2022 on, the new average car payment for Americans is $700.
Wow.
I was like, that can't be real. And then I started shopping for a new car because our lease is up. And I was like, oh my God, it's real. Right. So like, I'm terrified. I can't wrap my mind around that. Oh my word. So, and the new, and this is like, okay, well, buy a used car, Juan, right? Like I get, hey, I'm on your squad. I've got one that's paid off. I have a lease. I keep lease for Kate and the kids. And we're looking at used, and because of the interest rates where they are, right, that is not a deal. And those same numbers that was from bankrate.com that was shared said that the average used car payment from Q4 of 2022 and beyond is now over $500. So I was just like, wow, man. And we started digging into the numbers. So I got into this article. I shot the video the day we did our taxes because I wanted to know. I'm like, this can't be real. And then like I did our taxes and I was like, this is more real than I care to admit with the numbers. And it was just staggering. But what I want to do is give perspective, because a lot of the times people that are watching our videos, first of all, we know you're not just watching ours, right? So I know that you cheat on me, but it's okay. I still love you. I know you're out there watching Adam's videos. I know you're out there watching Ben's video. Those guys are great, by the way. Okay, so just a heads up. All right, so those other channels out there, those guys share valuable information as well. And there are many other people doing the same thing, which is totally fine. But for whatever reason, you choose and trust us. So we respect you. Okay, now, I want to give you perspective, because a lot of the times when people come to us, they haven't necessarily made their decision on one area, right? They're like, hey, I'm considering Tampa. And then I'll ask them, how is Tampa? And they'll be, hold on, Zach. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. You're good not to. I appreciate that, my man. But they'll reach out and they'll be like, well, we're thinking of Jacksonville, or we're thinking Orlando. Usually it's Orlando. They're like Orlando, Sarasota, and Tampa. And, we've got you covered in Sarasota. Marcia has got Sarasota in the bag. We got you guys covered all the way down to Venice. Okay. After that, we hand it off. It's not our area of expertise. We have referral partners all over the state. And here's what we won't do. We will not take a client and put them in harm's way, meaning I'm not going to try to sell you something I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. And as a matter of fact, we don't sell people on anything. We help you find your dream, and we help you find the right community. After that, the houses tend to take care of themselves. So that's something that we love everybody to know. But a lot of the times you're uncertain or unsettled. And I know this because I went through the same thing too. When we started shopping for communities in Florida, we looked at Jacksonville. We looked at Deltona. We almost looked at Orlando. It was really never in the cards, but we just had to say we did, because it felt better checking it off. We were never moving to South Florida. Miami is a whole nother animal. That's not, it's a different vibe, different thing. Beautiful, but it's got its own thing. And that wasn't necessarily our vibe and our feel. And then Tampa was really like one of the last considerations we had ever given when we started our process. But when we came here and really experienced it, once we saw Indian Rocks Beach, we were changed. We knew we were moving to Tampa. It was over. We were going to make it happen. But I went through that process just like you. Most likely are right now. Stacy moved to here from Indiana. Like, Stacy, does this sound familiar to you as well? Like, you're either moving for a job specifically, or you get to, right? We were a get to people, and we serve a lot of get to people, right? A lot of get to clients. We get to move to Florida. It's our dream. We're coming. Can you help us? And yeah, we're so grateful for y'all. Okay. So if you're looking to reach out, you have questions on that as we get deeper, all of our contact information is listed down below. There's even a link to my calendar where you can schedule a time at your convenience. We'll show up on Zoom, match the right community to your lifestyle. That is our focus. Okay. But what I want to share with y'all is relative pricing, because sometimes we're like, well, yeah, I'll go check this area out. And you don't recognize how big of a gap it is in the average price of a home. Okay. So this came out today and I was like, this is perfect, because most people, I have to do this homework every single week about what does it cost? What are the differences? So that way, when somebody shows up in my life and they have a budget, I can really help them best. Right. And then I came across this and I thought it was wonderful. Now I want to give perspective, because it is the median. And we've shared this before. Marcia talked about the median last week. There is a difference between median and average. Okay. The median is the middle. And sometimes the middle can be on the lower end if there's more activity in the lower end, but that doesn't mean it's average. Average is typically more. Not always, but typically it is more. So we're going to talk about that. So we're going to show you the median. Just understand, we're also going to frame reality too, because I think it's very important to get a healthy dose of what's real and what's not. But this just came out. This is May home prices in the state of Florida. This was released by the Florida Realtor Group. It's this wonderful tool because it's right on point with what we see on a day in, day out basis. And I think I just wanted to share this because I think it's so valuable. Statewide, the median home price was $419,000. Okay. But let's get into what it actually, what the median is in some of these areas. Because we'll get calls and people are like, yeah, like we're good from here to Naples. And I was like, okay, what's the budget? And they'll tell me the number. And I'm like, we're not good to Naples. Right. And that's not judgment, y'all. We all have a budget. Even our clients that can spend millions. Guess what? They've got a certain budget that they're either willing or want to spend or can spend. Right. So it's not judgment. It's just understanding we all have these limitations and we all have a goal. So how do we make them work? But let's get into some of these numbers because they are very interesting. Right. So the top of the list, of course, is Naples. For those of you who may have not been aware, Naples, the median home price. And again, this basically means to sniff the lawn. That's what I always tell everybody when we talk about median. What does it cost to sniff the lawn in that neighborhood? It's $810,000 as of right now. Okay. So that's not a small number. Right. So definitely one of the most expensive. It is the most expensive in Florida and one of the most expensive in the country. Just heads up on that. Miami, which it looks like a discount after Naples, is $610,000. Right. The median home price in Miami is now $610,000. They continue to have double-digit gains in Miami right now. And the reason being there is because Florida is so business friendly. And there are a lot of corporations relocating, especially the financial companies are moving to Miami. So it's very interesting when you see that. All right. Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton. So this is Marsh's backyard. Sarasota, 513. Okay, so this is a mix of those three metro areas, but we're seeing this on average in Sarasota is right around that $500,000 mark. Okay, so the median, the average is higher. Cape Coral's coming in at 445. Cape Coral used to be a bargain, y'all. It used to be to me, it's amazing how the pricing there has increased well beyond with what's happening here in Tampa. Walton, Destin Beach area. So this is the Emerald Coast up in the Panhandle, 441.5. To me, I won't move anywhere where it can still get to freezing temperatures. Y'all can have that up there. And then there's way more hurricanes in the Panhandle. God bless you. Okay. So the water's unbelievable. It's incredible. The Emerald Coast.
The sand.
It's beautiful. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not in, there's too much activity going on there. It's cold in the winter and I'm not dealing with the amount of hurricane activity to get over there. Orlando, Kissimmee, Sanford, coming in at 435. So this is another one of those areas that again, medium price point. Port St. Lucie. This is on the east coast of Florida. For those of you who aren't aware, basically, I'll say it's directly across, but it's almost directly across the state of Florida from Tampa. It's more directly across the state of Florida from Sarasota, actually. So that's where it's at. Vero Beach, Sebastian, 412. And then you get down to Tampa. So what are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Tampa comes in 9th in the state, followed by Jacksonville. And look at the villages down here. The party people themselves holding tight at 483. I love that. At 393. So like shout out to the people in the villages. We hear all kinds of stories. I'm sure you guys are having a great time. Right. So I love that. It's fantastic. But coming in at 406,000 on average or in the median price point, it's interesting. We talk a lot about averages, y'all. You can get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for, somewhere around that price range, but it's going to be an older home that needs a lot of love. That's just the reality of it. You start getting into fully renovated homes in the area, you're immediately talking in the mid fives, and that's just for us in Tampa. So imagine what those things cost in Miami or Naples, for instance. So as we come down, you can see the prices kind of drop off. Punta Gorda, Panama City, Gainesville, Melbourne, Deltona, Daytona, which is what we were talking about over there. Lakeland, Winter Haven, still a pretty good bargain. And, it's one of those spots people ask us about it, and it's kind of right in the middle of no man's land. It's not in Orlando, and it's not in Tampa. It's in between. Gives you access to I-4, but there's not a whole lot going on over there except for Joker Marchant Stadium. Shout out to the Tigers, by the way. Tallahassee, Pensacola, Ocala, which has been growing quite considerably because Ocala was really cheap. Hermosa Springs, and then Sebring. So definitely worth a share. I wanted to make sure we got that out to the audience because people are trying to wrap their heads around where they can go, and how to get there. So I love that. Jeff says Cheap Trick with Peter Frampton. Oh, there you go. Love it. So that's right around the corner. About to kick off. That's a good show. That'll be a good time. And then Cypher said, I was willing to spend $354 on a house in Tampa in 2020, but that changed quickly when I was finally ready and had to double that amount to live in South Tampa. Yeah, South Tampa is no joke, right? So we also expensive to sniff the lawn in South Tampa. That's another place that's probably more like $800,000. When you start looking at it. So beautiful area. I love High Park Village. South Tampa is a really fun spot to be, but this is awesome. So for those of you who are really trying to get perspective, that's a great thing to look at just to kind of frame things for you. You can do more, you can do less. There's always a way. Like when I read that article that said you had to make $144,000 to live in Tampa now, I was like, that can't be real. And of course, you can do it on way more, and you can do it on much less, as most people do. You just got to make things work. But with the cost of housing right now, y'all, like that's the big thing. We went through the numbers today, and if you just take the median price in the United States and you run that through a mortgage calculator, and you include insurance and taxes and PMI, if you're not paying 20% down, these numbers are pretty large. It's not small. So keep that in perspective as you're looking around. Again, we're blessed. We have incredible clients, and we're a get to move area, which makes me so happy, right? Like people are coming here to live out their dream. Some people are coming here to work, and that's, y'all, everybody's got to do their thing. We work, we serve y'all, and we love it. So there is a place for everyone in the area, but it is getting tougher. I'm not going to lie. Like Tampa was the secret. Everybody ignored Tampa, right? Bradenton, same thing. They were ignoring. Everybody was sleeping on Bradenton and Tampa. They were just like, yeah, whatever, no big deal. And then COVID came, and we got found out. We got found out, and people are rushing here because it's still a deal. When I really share perspective on this, go look at what it costs to live on the coast anywhere else in the country. I mean, I just showed you other places in Florida. Naples was $810. Miami is $610. That's $200,000 and $400,000 more for the median home than it is here in Tampa. And Naples is 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, right around 2:15 to 2.5 hours to the south of us. Bradenton is almost $65,000. I'm sorry, Sarasota is almost $65,000 on average, more than we are here in Tampa, and it's an hour to the south. So it's amazing how quickly it changes and what's going on there. But at the end of the day, if you can and it makes sense to you and it's your dream, man, we're here to help. If it's the timing's not right and it doesn't work for you, like I understand. Again, I don't live on the Gulf Coast. I would love to. I would love to have a big giant honking house sitting and have the Gulf of Mexico be my backyard, but one ain't achieved that life yet. We have not earned that right. So, God bless those people that have. Shout out to you guys. Hopefully you're living your dream, and we're happy for you. But, we're grateful for those viewers who chime in every week and spend time with us. Man, it just blows my mind that y'all do. Put questions in. We're going to put the links in the resources. As we said, we try to always do that. So we'll put that in there for y'all. So you can go back and check these numbers or look at the things they share. Marcia keeps sharing these wonderful websites that you can go book all these things. So I'll put those in there as well for you. Ladies, any final words? Let's start with Miss Marcia. Any final words? Anything you want to share with the audience?
Just thank you so much, and call me if you have questions about Bradenton or Sarasota. I love talking about it and sharing the lifestyle. When one was talking about the new amphitheater in Clearwater, it reminded me we have one of them here, and I forgot to mention it. It's on a much smaller scale, but it is on the Riverwalk, and we like to go by boat and sit and listen to the music in the river. So we have options here as well.
Yeah, it's a cool little spot too. It is a really cool little spot right by the marina, just a short walk. Really, really cool area. So thank you, Marcia. That's wonderful. Stacy?
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us tonight. It was fun as always. And I love talking about Pasco County.
Yeah, she does. And both of these ladies serve Pinellas as well and Hillsborough, just so you know. They do a lot of heavy lifting. They live in Bradenton and in Pasco, respectively. But they are putting in the miles. Let me tell you, these ladies know all about these neighborhoods all through the area. I live here in Pinellas County. And they just work so hard to take care of y'all. So I'm proud of them. Grateful for you. And we're going to continue to show up and bring you really cool things, cool and exciting things that are happening here in the Tampa Bay area. And until next time, y'all, go out and live that Tampa life. Have a great night.